everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 6 of Stitchmas. So in today's video we're going to be making this really cute table runner just made from 2.5 inch strips. So let's get into the video. What you're going to need is 12 2.5 inch strips. Now when I say 2.5 inch strips, what I mean is 2.5 inches on width, and then it's going to be the full length of your bolt of fabric or your fabric that you've bought. What you then need to do is place them into 3 different piles. So you need 4 colours in 3 piles. What you also need is one really contrasting colour. So I've gone for a dark blue, a lilac, a different shade of lilac, and then this really lovely bright blue. Now you need to make sure that when you're laying these out, which I'm going to show you, the contrast fabric is the second one from the end. So let me show you. So I'll place the contrast fabric down, then I'm going to use this lovely purple lilac, then the other lilac, and then the blue. Stitch those 4 together, then the other 4, then the other 4. Don't join them together, just leave them as strips. I'm going to do that now. Opening up your strips, again doesn't matter for this point, but you're going to make sure that that one is on the inside. So just join those seams together. I always do a 1/4 inch seam allowance unless I say otherwise, so this is 1/4 inch as well. Don't worry about pressing between the stitches at this stage. Once it's all joined together, then you're going to want to press it really well. Press all your seams to one side. Don't worry about opening them out. We tend to only do that for dressmaking. Just make sure that all your seams are going one way. So now we need to ensure that this one is next to the purple. You don't want to lay it out accidentally the wrong way around. Then taking out other purple strip and just placing it on. What I will do now is I think I'll turn my iron on, just so that we're ready to press. The great thing about this project is you can use so many different colours. So you could have it as a festive runner, you could have it as a springtime and autumn. How beautiful that you can just take this and just go with it. Strip number 3 done. Placing it on our table. Now you can pin this, of course. You don't have to go free like I am. You can pin this, you can use your quilting clips. I actually find that if you've got a pre-cut jelly roll, and especially one that's got the zigzag edge, they do sit very nicely together. So I tend not to need to use pins and quilting clips, but if you've cut them by hand, you may want to. And especially if you're using different types of fabric, maybe if you're doing a cotton and a polycotton, you'll probably want to join them together in case there's any friction and slipping. We've got quite the full house this morning whilst I'm filming this, so any odd noises and things, it's either child number 1 or husband or dog. I'm also hoping we're going to have more success with the overhead today. We had some technical issues on Stitchmas Day 5's overhead, but it hasn't stopped you all from enjoying the video. So thank you very much for watching and enjoying the series. We did a giveaway in Stitchmas Day 2. The winner has already been notified, Hazel. Well done, Hazel. And I'm just waiting for her to hopefully notice the comment that I've left on her comment, and then I'm going to send that off to her in the post. There will be another giveaway in tomorrow's video. I'm now just brought in my wool mat, and I'm going to press this really well. So I'm going to press all the seams one way, doesn't matter which way, just press them all. I'll always press the back and then I'll go over the front. So now I've pressed the back, I'm just going to make sure that before I press the front, those seams are nice and flat, and then I'm going to press the front. I really like this colour combination, but I also think autumnal colours would look particularly beautiful. So this is our first strip section done. We're going to do 2 more of these, and we'll do that off camera, and then we'll come back to the cutting part. I've now stitched all 3 of those together. Now we're going to start with the cutting. So what I like to do is just neaten off the end of your piece. So we're going to start with the lightest lilac here, and then the contrast fabric again is that second strip. So just make sure that you've not got it turned the other way so the contrast is at the top. You want that contrast strip at the bottom here. Now I'm just lining this up on my cutting mat. What you're going to do is take your ruler. You need to find the 60-degree angle line. That 60-degree angle line needs to line up with the bottom line of your mat. And you want to make sure that this top line here lines up with the top corner of your fabric. So just making sure that 60-degree line is here, straight to here, and we're more or less to the corner there. We don't want too much waste. So now I'm just going to cut this like so. That is our waist piece. Then what we need to do is flip our ruler, or you can just use the other end, it's up to you, and line up that 60-degree line to the top of your mat, and then move it along so you've got the point here, you've got it lined up at the top, just double check that. Yes, you've got the point here, and then cut. So that's number one piece. We then don't touch your fabric at this point, keep it like this. Now you want to do the same again all the way along your strip, and then repeat the process on the other two strips. So on some triangles you'll have your contrast strip at the second point, and then on other triangles from the point you'll have it at the third. So you'll notice that you've got sort of a different pattern going on. So I shall continue on. So find that 60-degree angle, line that up, make sure you've got your ruler right to the point here, make sure you've got that angle sorted, and cut. So there you can see the two differences that you're going to end up with. Contrast fabric there, contrast fabric there. So they sort of look a bit like American candy corns. So I'm going to continue on with this pattern off camera, and I'll come back ready to place it all together. I've now cut all my triangles, and I'm going to just put them into piles of the different colourways. So the top contrast here, and then the third one down here. Just going to make it a bit easier when we come to lay out the pattern. See how quickly this comes together. We've already got a load of triangles here, so that's really quick and simple way of getting those, and just beautiful fabric. Okay, now we're going to lay all the pieces out. So taking two of the panel that's got the contrast at the second, these two are going to be stitched together, and the table runners all joined. That is going to be your edge piece. So these two need to be joined together, and we'll do that first. Just mind these ones over there for a second. Bring the machine. Now because you've pressed these nicely and they're all joined together beautifully, you won't have a problem. So again, 1/4 inch seam. I tend to just run off the end of that, like this. Open that out and press that seam really, really well. So that's what you're going to do first. So just pop that to the side. Then bringing in the others, we need three. And we're going to place them together like this. So that one to this one, and then that one to that one. Okay, open that out. I'm really liking how this is looking. Then placing this piece onto here. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're going to line up your bottom seam. Because you've already used some of the seam allowance on the triangle, the point is now shorter. So if you line up that bottom seam, you'll find that that will all come together nicely. Now if we open this out, that's our next section. So popping that to the side, then taking two with the contrast at the top, we're going to do exactly what we did there. So we end up with two pieces that are like that. So we end up, it's going to be like this. So now I'm just going to stitch those together. Just pop those to one side. Now before I stitch these three together, I'm going to press them out. So taking that triangle, bringing in my iron, and just giving that seam a really nice press. I'm really, really pleased with this. Next one. If you were to make another 3 of these and just attach them, you would end up with a really nice 6-sided pattern. And what you'll find is those seams are really nestling together nicely. Lovely. So on to the last one. And again, you can see how quickly this is coming together. We're now going to place this section over to this section, so right sides together. And placing that like this, so it comes off at a right angle to the piece. Don't be afraid to use your quilting clips or your pins if you want to. Now lining up the corner here at the top, so when it flips over, you can see how beautiful that's going to be. And then the next one, the last one on this side, that's going to go off at a right angle to the top, like that. Right. So there's our first one. Let's press. Lovely. Okay, so let's turn that around so you can see. So there's our first section. All we're going to do is repeat the process again for the other triangles that we've got. So you're going to do the 2, the 3 and the 2, and then all we're going to do is simply stitch them together along the top here. You will have some spare triangles. You'll have about 3 or 4 left of each colourway, and I would recommend just popping those all together to make a lovely hexagon. So joining the 2 together, you want one facing up, and then you're going to just place the other one right side down, line those up, and you're going to stitch it from end to end. Use your quilting clips and pins at this point because you want to make sure that every seam is lined up as best as you can. Now I've joined those 2 together. I'm going to take this off to my big steam iron and give it a really good press, ready for backing, binding and quilting. So there's our finished table runner. I'm not going to back it and bind it today because that will take quite a long time. But if you wanted to, I would recommend using a stick and spray, a June Taylor basting spray, putting your wadding on, your backing, giving it a lovely quilt, and then binding it. Perhaps a really different binding colour would be absolutely super for this project. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow is Stitchmas Day 7, and I'm going to be doing another I Tried Following tutorial. The last one I did was the I Tried Following the Missouri Star video, and tomorrow I'm going to be doing an I Tried Following a Lizzie Curtis tutorial. So I hope you'll tune in for that. That should be a really fun video. I'll say goodbye and I'll see you tomorrow for Stitchmas Day 7. Thanks for watching. Bye!